Draft's over. What now? Sports Talk Chicago. Here for Jon Zaghloul. Subscribe to the channel for more Bears content. Follow us all over the place on social media and on podcasting platforms at Sports Talk Chicago. And help out our sponsor, Amish Country Farms. What will the Bears do now? What do they still need? How much money could they spend? And what did Ryan Poles say after the draft? Ryan Poles said, you want to fix everything immediately, but it's got to work the right way. The right players got to be there that fit our scheme. They want to be here, so we can't fix everything at a high level in one swoop. When asked about the offensive line and center specifically, he said this, for right now I feel good with Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick as leaders and players. They both played that position well in the past. Good one, Brian. I think he's saying that to be more of a PR guy rather than, hey, this is what we're going to do. The Bears actually are in a situation where they could still spend money. They still have $35 million open in cap space. $8 million more than the second team in the NFL, which is Carolina, 27. The Bears have money to spend. There are still people out there who they could spend it on. They need edge rushers. They need a center/offensive line help. Leonard Floyd's out there. Not that that's going to be a reunion per se, but he's out there. Jadeveon Clowney's out there. Frank Clark is out there. Trey Flowers, Kyle Van Noy, and Marcus Golden are there as well, all at the edge rusher position. Point being, there are still players available. Free agency has, quote-unquote, really just begun. And the Bears have money to spend still, even after all the spending they've already accrued. All the players they've signed, linebacker, running back, wide receiver, there's still an opportunity to spend more money and address the needs that still befuddle them after the draft. And the two big ones right now have to be edge and offensive line, mainly center. I don't buy Ryan Poles' quote that Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick are going to be the future at that position. Poles, when asked about the defensive end position, said this, quote, camp's a long ways away. We'll stay on our toes, and if something presents itself, we will be able to do that. We'll be able to do it financially as well. The Bears still have the most salary cap space available amongst all teams in the entire National Football League. There's going to be another wave of free agency coming in June when teams have to decide whether or not they want to release players, franchise tag them, etc. The point is, believe it or not, although it seems like it's over, the draft is over, the Bears have signed so many people in the first round of free agency, it's not over. And if you have any gripes about this roster, which should be at a minimum right now, they could be addressed by the time week one comes. Not impossible. And the two main gripes right now are center/offensive line and edge rusher. The Bears did nothing in the draft to address edge rusher. Now, why did they not do anything? Well, they were more focused on offense, mainly the offensive line with Darnell Wright, and then wide receiver, running back in the later rounds, even cornerback as well. Does that mean that there's nothing left for them to do? I say no. I say there's still an opportunity. Based on the players I just read you, there are readily available players out there who know how to play the edge rusher position. Looking at this top free agent list right now, Leonard Floyd's at the top of it. Remember him? The Bears won't get back with him, I don't think, but he's available. And again, Jadeveon Clowney and Frank Clark, Trey Flowers, Kyle Van Noy, Marcus Golden. There are quality edge rushers on the market today who the Bears could afford. Easily afford and still add other players that they need. That's exciting. It's not over. Oh, by the way, there are still some receivers out there as well, including Jarvis Landry and Kenny Golladay. I doubt, again, the Bears are going to go after wide receiver, but should that come to pass, the Bears could afford it, and they're readily available. There are still players available. May not be a strong free agent class, but it won't break the bank either. And you could get some value for your buck and still fill positions that you have extreme needs for. I like all these quotes, though, from Ryan Poles, except the center one. I refuse to believe that Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick are going to be the guys the Bears go with at center. And if they do, that's going to be the one mistake Ryan Poles makes this offseason. He's done so much good, I don't want to kill him on one mistake, but those two should not be your premier choices at center entering 2023. In my opinion. And I think there could be an opportunity to change that. But according to this quote, it seems like the Bears are pretty confident. That's the right word you want to use. If you ask 90% of Bears fans, they'd say the opposite about both those players at center. Poles is not done yet, and we shouldn't be either. There's still an opportunity to talk about free agency and other needs the Bears have. That's why I opened up this video saying, the draft's over, now what? Well, there's still a lot more to track and discuss as free agency and the offseason really just kind of gets underway. There's still a lot of time to go before we get to week 1 in September. It's May. 3 or 4 months separate us from game 1, which means 3 or 4 months of opportunities for the Bears to still improve their roster. It's not over. The Bears have money, surprisingly. $8 million more than the next team on that list. There are players readily available who they could sign. It's not over. But no matter what, I have to say, I evaluate Ryan Poles in a very positive light. You're not going to get everything you want as a fan, as a GM, as a coach, as a player, as a team. You're not going to get everything you want all the time. There are going to have to be sacrifices made. I really need a wide receiver, but I also kind of need an offensive lineman. I'm going to go with wide receiver first, for example. The Bears knew they needed offensive line help. They knew they needed wide receiver help, even cornerback help to an extent, and running back help. They did all of that in the draft and beforehand with Carolina. They, unfortunately, neglected center and edge rusher. Doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean they're idiotic and don't know what they're doing and why are they neglecting this. It just means they prioritized their needs, mapped it out, and made choices and sacrifices. At the end of the day, though, I'm not going to criticize Poles for anything that he's done yet. Because I'll tell you what, all these moves that we've seen, in my opinion, have been smashing successes. And we'll see what he does still with the money and resources that he has and the needs that he knows about and will publicly acknowledge, like edge rusher, defensive line. He didn't acknowledge center, but he certainly acknowledged edge rusher and said there could still be a move, and we have the resources financially to make it happen. Something tells me we're going to be making a video in the next couple of months, and there will still be signings and moves made before week 1. We will see movement still with this roster. It is not set in stone yet. We feel like it is. We feel a sigh of relief. Oh, the draft is over. The beginning of free agency is over. Aaron Rodgers is finally a Jet. I mean, all these things have calmed down and occurred, and they're official. But it's not over. The Bears have a couple of needs still, mainly 2. Ryan Poles acknowledged that one of them could be fixed by week 1. We have to keep ourselves on our toes and wait and see what he does with the resources and the money that he has available. Thanks for watching today's show here on Sports Talk Chicago. Appreciate all of you tuning in. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We are nearing 20,000 subscribers. Could really use your help. Hit that like button as well. Tell your friends. Follow us all over the place, social media and podcasting platforms at Sports Talk Chicago. And again, help out our great sponsors, Amish Country Farms. Thanks for watching. So long, everyone.